So anyway, let me see. I just overshot the airport, so that's a case of running my mouth a little bit too much. So we're going to hit the visual now. Now, just looking out here, you can kind of see the photo reel. And one of the things I'll mention here is the airport or the airfield scenery itself and the surroundings blend in seamlessly with Open LC North America. So you're going to be hard pressed to find the boundary, which is really good. And you can kind of see some of that legendary rust white vegetation down there. Really nicely done. I think that we might be looking at the old abandoned airfield there, but I could be mistaken. One of the things that I mentioned is that, Russ is great when it comes to doing large airfields and his smaller stuff like Damon's Hall. And so he's kind of added a bit of that sort of Damon's Hall flair to MBS. And that's one of the things we'll be looking at here shortly, as soon as I find the runway. So I wasn't paying attention, and I kind of overshot in my rant. So anyway, yeah, the last 3 weeks, or the last couple of months actually, have been just really crazy. So I haven't, and it comes kind of at an odd time because it's kind of right before Flight SimCon and, before the biggest news that we've ever received in the community, with just, all the things that's going on with Dovetail and prepared version 4. And, I've been kind enough to have been on the beta team. But even then, I've been beta testing several third-party add-ons, and then of course there's Prepared itself, and not having had much time, to really get into these products and to show them off to all of you in the way that I really would have liked. So this is AS 2016. You can see here the weather is pretty low right now for. All right, okay. So I did remember the landing gear, so that's good. The APU is still on. I just remembered that was on. Probably should turn on the landing lights too. Okay, I'm going to try to swing this turn and hit this runway. This is going to be really interesting. Let's see if I can nail this. I'm just going to try and go for it here. So yeah, I haven't been able to get into these products as much as I really would have liked, and now that Flight SimCon is here, all of these releases and all of this stuff kind of comes right on the heels of Flight SimCon and my vacation. So a lot of the stuff I'll be looking into after vacation. So it'll be fun. And not only that, but I haven't had any time to get into Flight Sim World. I hadn't had any time to get into X-Plane 11. I need to buy a couple of more 1 terabyte SSDs in order to accommodate all this. Well, I'm coming in way too high. That's okay. I'm committed one way or the other. So yeah, so all of this stuff will come after vacation time, and it should actually be a lot of fun to. He's still gonna keep going, huh? He sees my really crappy, crazy, insane approach I'm doing. He's like, I'm going to keep inching up anyway. Look at that. I think I somehow managed to rescue this really kind of crazy approach that I somehow found myself on. Alright. I managed not to kill all of us, so that's good. How many people are on board this flight right now? 76. Alright. We did it. So we have arrived to MBS. Now at some point I'm probably going to have to clear this weather out just so that, look at that. Oh, that just looks so amazing. Just so that we can see all these surroundings here, because it really is fantastic. Actually, you know what? Let's go full length. So that way we can kind of look at some of these hangars as we pass. Get that nice virtual cockpit perspective. I see some chatting down there. I'll get to those shortly. I'm just going to go ahead and taxi full length here so we can... Wait a minute, where are all those static airplanes that were there before? Oh, crap! Alright. Quick thing for the Turbulent guys, if you're watching. I deactivated the static aircraft. So it's still in beta. So I can tell you this right now. The scheduled release is for this Friday for MBS. However, that being said, I gotta switch ears here. That being said, if any of the Turbulent guys, if you're watching, if we could, can we, when it comes to the static aircraft, can we decouple the GA aircraft from the static CRJ that's at the terminal? I only wanted to get rid of the static CRJ at the terminal. I didn't want to get rid of all the planes that sit out here. So if we can maybe, in the control panel, have that one separate, because I really wanted to have all of the gates available just in case, because I wasn't sure how much traffic would actually show up. So there's a static CRJ there at the terminal. And then out here, you have a lot of really nice static planes. I'm kind of disappointed they're not here now, because the team did an excellent job creating all of these static aircraft models, and now we're not going to see them. And they're all parked out here on the ramp here. So I really thought that the CRJ would have been separate from all those planes. So I think it would be a good idea to just separate those from each other. That way we can kind of keep the GA AI or statics separate from the terminal statics. So I can already tell you right off the bat, there is not a singular bad thing I'm going to have to say about the scenery. So if you're tuning in hoping for some biased perspective, it just ain't going to happen. I mean, good is just good no matter what. Top notch is top notch. Another thing that's going to be great about this airport is performance. Right now, this thing is like straddling, I think, 45 FPS, and that's with all the shadows and everything turned on. I've got full AI on, but you're not going to see a whole lot of AI here. You can see a couple of CRJs, which, you know, that would be the ideal airplane. Oh, damn, did I pass my turn off? I don't think I did. That would be the ideal airplane if, you know, a certain Aerosoft can get that CRJ out before we push year 12 of development. Look at that terminal. There it is, coming into view. And for all the people who would say, hey, you know, there is no point to internal modeling, I think that, have we officially now, is there no longer a need for anyone to complain about that anymore, especially with the advent of prepared version 4? I'd like to think, at least, anyway. And so now we are pulling up to this incredible masterpiece. Damn, Russ White is a freaking, like, genius, man. This just looks amazing. And shout out to the entire Turbulent team as well, just for their various expertise in helping this kind of come together. Look at the grass there, the vegetation. I mean, you know, again, if it's one thing that Russ White always sets out to do with his work is he really wants to capture the environment. And that's what scenery development is all about nowadays. If you remember back to the old FS9 days, you had the airport, you had the perimeter fence, then there was the autogen exclusion zone, and then there was whatever else you had. If you had ultimate terrain, year up, or ground environment, or whatever it was that you used, that was like it. Oh, crap. Did I turn me? Oh, shoot. Oops. Damn it. Doggone it. Okay, I overshot that turn there. I was looking at the wrong line. That's okay. I think I can clean this up. That jet bridge just looks awfully far. I feel like it's going to hit that truck. Oh, this is the wrong gate. What's the Benny Hill? What is that Benny Hill song? Whatever. I don't know. I'm just going to, like, do over. I want to do over. Let's do this over. So this is the new terminal for MBS. The old terminal has since been torn down. Speaking of which, when is somebody going to make a Bradley? Just out of curiosity. I'm like, because we go there, this is the third year in a row that I've been to Bradley Airport, and it is they built a really nice new terminal. If you went to Flight Sim Con 2015, the old terminal was still standing back then. And when we went back for 2016, I got on my wife's nerves. She was like, how many times are you going to say you can't believe it's gone? Because, I mean, they made that whole terminal disappear as if it wasn't even there. But the new terminal, and I've never been on the inside of it because I've never flown into Bradley. I've always driven up from New York. So I'm looking forward to flying into Bradley this time around. But that's another really nice airport that somebody really should do. All right, so there's no docking gate here. At least we can kind of pull up to the terminal a little bit here and just see that. But I'm going to have to go to the external view just to make sure I'm on the line here. Which I'm obviously not, of course. So let's get this on the line so we can see those amazing jet bridges. Man, I'm telling you, the detail here is just incredible. Look at that GSC. This is basically, this whole live stream is basically going to be me jizzing all over this airport. Oh my goodness, it's pretty awesome. Okay. Look at that ground poly. I think I'll just stop it here. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so let's bring up Sody Pop. Actually, you know what? Let's switch over to this view first. Yeah, that's better. Oh, I need to pause track IR. I keep forgetting to do that. I keep turning my head. All right, hang on 1 second because I need to find Sody in here somewhere. Oh, wait. I need to pull up Chase Plane so that I can move my camera around real fast. Yep, that's better. Okay. And I guess first things first, we can take a quick look at these jetways, which was really the first sort of preview video that we got of the airport is the jet bridges. At first glance, people were like, really? They made their whole first preview video just of a jet bridge? And then after a while, in hindsight, I think they were like, oh my God, those are like the most fascinating jet bridges we've ever seen. So anyway, okay, let's look at the jet bridge animation here. We're going to pull up Sody now. And where are you? I know it's like tab something. I'll just... There we are. So I think you can see the Sody menu. You should be able to. Let's just move this out of the way here. We'll select stand and KMBS gate. And I don't even know what gate this is. What gate is this? Is it on the ground somewhere? Okay, it's gate number 5. So we'll come back up here and we'll select number 5. Number 5 on your FM dial. And dock. Oh. Oh, what happened? Oh, what is it? I'm getting an error. Aircraft door out of jetway head rotation range. Okay. Well, let's slew it maybe a little bit forward. I mean, that says 737. All right, let's try it again. Really? Oh, man. I don't know if I'm too close or too far. Let's try this gate. Still out of head rotation range. Okay. Let's just move it like way up. I don't know. Try it now. All right, there we go. All right. I was too far back for some reason. So that's something that needs to be looked at, I guess. Ooh, no. Is it going to move forward? Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right. So that might be a beta issue that might needs to get looked at. Look how perfect that dock is. Oh my gosh. That's a nice docking right there. Oh, I didn't turn off my beacon lights, huh? So like turn all that off. Let's go back outside. So since we're already out here on the ramp, I'll go ahead and exit Sody here. Actually, before I go any further, let's just see if there's any quick comments or anything here before we move on. Let's see. Yeah, High Flyer 84 is saying San Diego's an overgrown airport. Yeah, that's another airport that, you know, I think from a spotter's perspective, it should stay there, but definitely from a city perspective, yeah. Is our host a tug operator? I was out of high school. I did. That would have been 1999. I think I was. I was a ramp agent back in the day. Let's see. Yes, it is the Captain Sim 737. Just kind of browsing quickly. Through the comments here. Yeah, someone's agreeing it would be great to have the static aircraft decoupled from the aircraft that would be at the gate. And there's one person in here that's still persisting. There's no point to internal modeling. Funny joke. And Nick is saying BDL is his hometown airport, so I imagine we'll be seeing you at FlightSimCon in a couple of days. Few days. All right, and hello to Ryan Guy 911. All right, so here we are. So okay, let's take a look at some of this GSE in here, because like I said, I mean the details just in the little areas like GSE. So this is one of the things that kind of held up airport development in those early days, is just because you need time to develop stuff like this. And just to develop like a simple thing like a truck like this, believe it or not, these things take a lot of time to do. Why is this window still popping up here? Go away. You can see just how much detail is there, and transparent as well. Just looking through the cabs of these vehicles, which is really nice. So one of the things that I mentioned to the team is there is definitely one major element that this airport is missing. And I think I spoke to Russ Lynn in regards to that one, and he said it is something that they are working on, and that's people flow. It would actually be really cool to see, you know, individuals, little people flow sitting inside the cabs, little animated people looking around, so everything doesn't look so empty. But also, just as it pertains to the terminal building itself, just looking at the terminal, you can clearly see that, you know, it's very empty. And so, you know, as far as like the environmental immersion and everything else, I mean, that is really the only thing that I would say is missing here is literally just that bit. You can see here we have a nice, I think this is a water truck, laugh truck here. And this is all photoreal. So a huge shout out to whoever the guy was that went around taking pictures of GSE. Very, very, very nicely done. Let's see here. I think what we should do is grab our little avatar guy and start from the parking lot area. And I think we'll just kind of walk our way through the terminal and come back airside. Or maybe we should start here. No, let's start from the outside. So anyways, you can see here this is obviously a home for CRJs. So obviously, when a certain CRJ arrives, this is really going to be a huge deal. It really, really is. So let's grab our avatar guy here, and then I'll just slew his ass outside. There he is, and then we'll just go like through this wall. And we'll come out to the parking lot area. So, speaking of parking lots, there we go. Very nicely done parking lots. And again, as I mentioned before about the car, so you can see here, you've got some of these old Lincolns kind of parked in here, which is nicely detailed. These got these old Lincolns here. Like I said, he really wanted to capture this sort of region of the United States where almost everyone is driving American cars. So you've got these sort of new Chevy Tahoes here and all this good stuff here. Parking lot here, as you can see, the ground polygon throughout this entire airport is amazing. I see someone's asking which airport this is. So again, if you're just joining me, we are taking a look at MBS. This is from Turbulent Designs, and release is scheduled. If you're in the UK, you probably say scheduled. But release is scheduled for this upcoming Friday. So you're getting an early look, an early preview. Can I zoom in here? Before release, kind of an exclusive here. There we go. I think we'll probably wind up walking right through this sidewalk here. And here we are. So this is the main arrivals and departures area here. Just kind of looking around. Let me see, can I move this eye point down a bit? Yeah. Just a little bit. We're always looking at Avatar guys behind, unfortunately, but so I mean, first of all, I mean, let's just look at, I mean, again, we've already gotten a really good look at the ground polygon. Sorry, water break. And just looking at the terminal details, just the texturing alone is just really, really amazing. Is he going to step up onto this one? We'll probably be walking through the floor the entire time. Now, mind you, when this project started development, there was no avatar, so there was really no need to harden any of this. It's actually kind of a dark day. So what I'm going to do, just for right now, is, let me see how dark does everything need to get just to get the lights on in here. Oh, like a lot. Okay. Just for now, so at least we can kind of see how it lights up here. So, I mean, wow. I mean, just, and this was, I think the first screenshot that we had, I think it was of this, from this perspective. Someone's asking, does it have snarky TSA agents? So like I said, I think that they should put in those. I should be nice because I'm getting ready to fly out in a couple of days. So in case anyone from TSA is watching, I'm not a fan of TSA. Oh my God. But anyway, that's part of what I was saying in terms of having people flow, an option for that at some point in the future. And I believe Russ Lynn did tell me that that's something that they are working on in the future, so that, yes, you will have those, as you so astutely said there, Mr. SK331, snarky TSA agents. Yeah, sticking their hand in your behind and all that crap that they do, filling you up. UAL4777 is asking, how do you get this person walking around? So if you use prepared, this is a feature that comes with P3D. This is a P3D feature here. So here, anyway, you can see here we have the ticket counters, Delta and United, which are probably the two main airlines. Actually, it looks like the only real airlines that kind of fly in here. Huh? Let me see Delta and United ticket counters here. Let me raise this up a little bit since he's kind of like sunken in the ground. Oh, damn it. Turbulent, did you guys pay the power bill? Let's go back and do that again. All right, give us a little bit more daylight power here, just so we can see around. Because at least during the day, it's a little dark in here because I have the shadows on, so everything kind of looks a little bit dark. So let's come over here. We got like a little food court area. Actually, you know what? We'll go there next. Let's come over here. This is the baggage claim and car rental area. You got budget there, and you know what's interesting? Look at this. So you see these glowing lights? You see how these lights kind of glow? But look at this. Like, if I just turn this way, you can actually see, can you see my mouse? The glow of these little PC monitors here that are just sitting here. Just little details like that. That just really gets me. Look at that. So you can see here, it looks like it's just like arrival, departure information on those screens, but he actually baked in a glow texture. And there's the keys. We can actually just walk back there and grab a key and steal a rental car because no one's mining the shop in this airport right now. What is this? We got Thrifty and Hertz rental counters here. Let me see. Let me move this eye point down a little bit more. And again, you can just see like how well he captured the architecture. I mean, who knows how many polygons it takes to really deliver this. But again, just looking at my frame rates, man, my frame rates are set to unlimited. And it's like, it's just poking like the top of like 70 frames per second right now. So this is really incredible. Got a couple of vending machines there. And here we have like the arrivals carousels and the Great Lakes Bay region of Michigan. And here you have the luggage carousels. And the doors here. One of these days, someone's going to make an airport, and Avatar is going to walk up to it, and the sliding doors are like going to automatically open and close as he walks through. Why would that feature ever be necessary? It will never be necessary, but somebody's going to do it. I don't know who's going to be the first to do it, but somebody's going to do it. So here we see all the trees and the shadows that are on here. I don't usually have my shadows on during live streams, just because when I'm streaming, it tends to affect. I tend to get stutters while I'm streaming and having shadows on at the same time. But I'm not really seeing that much of an issue right now, so it looks like we can kind of keep them on. Look at the way even the shadows of the windows there. How they're kind of reflecting off of our avatar guy here. Again, just such an impressive airport. And it's amazing to see, like, again, if I go back and think back to the old FS9 days, let's go over to the food court. If we go back and look at the old FS9 days, it was mostly just mega airports. Mega. I mean, you could go back to like the old days of Simwings and stuff, and like German airports team, because in many parts of Europe, international airports are what we would consider sort of medium to small size regional airports in the United States. So if you only flew around the U.S., chances are you were only getting mega airports. So an airport like this back in FS9 was just unheard of. It's just something that would have never happened, because developers had a lot more to gain by simply developing mega airports. This is one of my favorite parts of the scenery here. I mean, look at the colors of the windows. You still get that specular mapping there, the environmental reflection. But I like the color, the tint of the windows as well. These are probably some of the best windows I've ever seen rendered in FS, aside from like Flight Beam. Really, really nicely done. I'm sure Amir, even though he emailed me a short while ago, I'm sure he's got to be looking at this and is like, man. Even the Fly Tampa guys. And that's why I said, I'm like, I knew it. See, I call it with developers. If you go back and read reviews that I've written years back, it's kind of a shame I don't have a lot of time to write reviews these days. I tend to lean more towards live streams. But I called it, and I said, this guy, Russ, he's just every bit as good as your Flight Beams, your Fly Tampas. I mean, look at it. I mean, just look at it. Of course, the shadows also definitely do it a lot more justice as well, and giving it that realistic look. I mean, right now, if we were sitting in 2005, we'd all think this has got to be like an FPS game, right? Like, is this Counter-Strike or something? Like, what are we looking at here? Battle, or what is that, Call of Duty? Because that's what this looks like. I mean, who would have thought that we would have this type of quality for an airport and flight simulation? I mean, my goodness. I'm going to let that hang for a second because that just looks so freaking good. And Virtual 170 says, there's nothing I love more than developers going into stupid amounts of detail not needed, but it's so highly appreciated. And SK331 says, USA was extremely poorly covered in FS9 and far into FSX as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more. But now I think, and I think it was probably Orbix that sort of led the charge into doing the proverbial regional airport. With Jared, with his stuff like Reading and like Monterey. Sedona, well, actually, Sedona is not a regional airport, really, more like a GA airport, but like Eagle County, stuff like that. Big deal. Look at that. I just love the glass. I'm sorry, I just got to look at that, because if I can try to control the eye point here, somehow it keeps moving. Come on, stop doing that. Look at that glass. Gosh, this just looks so freaking realistic. And with Flightbeam, like, just a few weeks away from releasing Minneapolis, that's going to be just the airport. I mean, like, so you saw we've got Midway. Although I can't remember, I'm not sure if Flight Tempo released a prepared version for update to that just yet. But we've got Midway, we've got Detroit. If Sunsight Skyjet can ever get their hit together and release that Detroit, we're going to have Detroit. We'll have Minneapolis. I mean, those are like, the big Delta hubs there. That's going to be just amazing. I just want to play with the shadows here for a second because I just think this all looks so like insanely like awesome. I have to stop and do this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That just, I could sit here and do this all day. That just looks so cool to me. I don't know why I'm so impressed with this. This is just amazing. This little courtyard here. Again, you're never going to see this from your virtual cockpit. You'll never see this ever. But if this live stream is the only place that you ever see this part of this particular airport, then good, because you should see it. A lot of guys, they jump straight into the cockpit. They flight plan and they bounce. So yeah, if this is the only place you ever see that, then fair enough, because you really should. This is like pretty much it for our eatery options, huh? Just this sort of stall. Not a whole lot of food options. But then again, I mean, you're looking at filling, 2 CRJs at any given time, so how many places to eat do you really need, I suppose? And so now we have the TSA area. We'll kind of make our way through TSA here. These are where the long lines, I suppose, would be located. And like as someone mentioned here, no, there are no snarky TSA people standing around here. So we'll just beep, 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 beep. Screw you. Yeah, he's packing a gun, I'm sure. Noah Navarre, our guy. And we've got a couple United and Delta billboards and another cool website I like to follow. This airport has really been a long. Oh, there's more food options here. Oh, that's right. I forgot. There is more food options. Then we'll go back this way one more time, just so that we can look at those shadows. Look how they're just kind of stringing along the walls here as we walk. And just look out. Let's just look outside the window here. Oh my God. Is this like my favorite airport now? Let me think about this. Amir's like, is somebody really going to unseat me from DeAndre's throne? And I know George is probably saying the same thing. Because between George, Martin, and Amir, like, these guys are like, those are my boys. Oh my gosh. I just want to look at this. This looks so incredible. Look at that. You guys mind if I take a minute and play around with shadows again? I'm just gonna I have to do this one more time. That is just, and mind you, this is still prepared version 3, so imagine how this is going to look in version 4. And I know that's probably a question that some of you probably have is, will this be version 4 compatible on day 1? And my understanding is yes. So to give you an idea of what Turbulent Designs is doing here is, when you install the scenery on Saturday, did I say Friday or Saturday? I don't remember. I don't remember if it was Friday or Saturday that they said they're going to release it. But when you have this scenery in your hands this weekend, one of the things you're going to notice when you install it is the scenery is not going to be in your prepared folder. So what they've done is, because Turbulent is basically, they're one of those development teams that are committed to prepared for the long haul. And so version 4 that just came out, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Over the next several months, we're going to start seeing more updates of prepared start to roll out. And unfortunately, I can't talk about anything being behind the scenes with Prepared, so that's why I can never really talk about much at Air Daily X, and that's also why you didn't see a whole lot of speculation and stuff like that. But over the next several months, you're going to start seeing releases roll out, and one of the things that has been a staple among developers to kind of keep up with Lockheed Martin as these updates keep rolling out is they have to keep coming in and releasing updates, and if the folder structure changes or whatever the case is, that can kind of be a pain. So what Turbulent has done is they've basically installed their scenery into your program files x86 folder. Look at that. I could do this all day. That just looks so amazing. So this actually sits outside of the ecosystem for Flight Simulator. So just one thing that you should definitely take note of when you get the scenery. So that way, when these updates roll out, it's a lot easier to have it outside of the structure. That way, as they release updates, you don't have to, it doesn't affect too much of how you're going to have to keep like reinstalling and so on and so forth. So they've basically done it all on the outside. So here we are again, and just sitting in now the main departures and arrivals area. And again, we can play with these shadows all day long. We can look at how the window grids sort of snake across the terminal. When I first started beta testing, I kind of just did this over and over because I think it's just so amazing how that works. So awesome. And actually, let's go back to the night, just so we can turn on the lights again one more time. There we are. Actually, I like morning better. There we go. So the only, if you tuned in last night and you saw the live stream with Joe Erlin and myself as we looked at Trondheim, which is also expected to be released. It'll probably be released the same day MBS is, and that's another airport that's got some amazing, tremendous internal modeling. So save your money and buy both. Buy both. Don't pick one over the other. It's a worthwhile purchase. Buy both airports. You're gonna absolutely love them. But the difference is with his scenery over this one is his little polygon on the inside on the floor was really detailed. I think that was probably the most detail I think I'd ever seen from the inside on the floor of an airport in a scenery. So, and he's like, I don't know why you're so impressed. All I did was take one tile texture and repeat it 1,000,000 times. I was like, it still looks amazing. Okay, let's go back to daytime now. I don't know if that's like high noon or whatever, so we can kind of walk around. So again, looking at the ground polygon here, just absolutely fantastic here. The shadows and everything, it is just really, really well done. I think we should probably switch out of our little friend here and probably grab our helicopter. Actually, let's go back to the airplane. That's I'll use chase plane. Since this is a small enough scenery, I think we should be okay. Let's see. Yeah, I know our Avatar guy's not talking. Usually he talks. It's just so early in the morning and my throat is so dry. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Avatar guy here. Yeah, Next time, I'll do it for the next one. Let's go back to the let's go back to this view here. Let me see a couple of comments here. JetFA is asking what airport this is. This is MBS, man. Let's see. And Virtual 170, is he part of Turbulent? Maybe, I don't know. Oh, just join the channel. Okay, I don't know. Let's see here. SK331 is saying now that now that's the one I'm really looking forward to. ENVA looking awesome in the previews. So yeah, you'll definitely go back and watch. It should be on YouTube. If it's not, I got to find out if it didn't upload last night. Game Sinzer is asking, how's a new sound blaster? Well, you tell me. Actually, as it turns out, I think I've narrowed the issue. I don't think it was the sound card. I think it was something else. So I'm going to do some troubleshooting later on. Anyway, let's see. Okay, let's go from this point of view. Damn, look at that. Even just like with the American. Oh no, let's go back to that time of view that I had there. That was really nice. What was that offset that I had? Yeah, I really like those shadows. I think it was like right there. I'll just keep it right here. I like to call this my drone mode. So now we can kind of get the overall look of this this terminal object, which just looks absolutely fascinating. And again, if we go out and look out at the horizon here, you can really see how Russ has just captured the entire environment, the surroundings of this airport. It is just absolutely fantastic. The cleanest parking lot I think I've ever seen. And mind you, all of this is brand new. So there was another terminal, and actually even on Google Earth, I think they updated it because you could still see the old terminal building there. But they've updated Google Earth now, so you don't see that anymore as well. Is this asshole parking right here? So, you know, someone did that to me. Where was I? Someone did that to me. Oh, I was at the Sprouts Farmers Market. I think that was the day before yesterday, picking up some alcohol. Yeah, organic cider. And I was parked, and there was like a shopping cart here. So the guy wanted to avoid the shopping cart, so he just kind of like backed his car up across the lane. And I had literally about this much space between the two cars. I almost left a note on his car. But I let it go because I was with my young lady, so I let it go. That's the kind of stuff where you wait in the parking lot and be like, here's some more asshole parking. Who put these cars in here? There's actually a really cool video on YouTube where a guy did that. He had like a I don't remember what kind of car he had. There's some people, they buy cars and they think their car is the best car in the world. So they like to park it across two lanes. So you had these guys with these three big Jeeps. Greg will probably like this story. They had these three big Jeep Wranglers. And so they parked them like within probably not even a foot in between his car. And he had I think the guy had like a hatchback or something. I don't remember what he had. But he kept trying to squeeze in to get into his car. And this video was like all of 10 minutes of him figuring out how to get back into his car. And I think in the end he crawled through the sunroof or something. I don't remember how he got in. I think he got in through the trunk or something like that. It was absolutely hilarious. Because this guy was parking like an idiot, like my car is better than your car kind of thing, so I'll park however I want. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy parking going on at this parking lot. And here we are. We have this really lovely airport entrance here. The weather in Saginaw is like not really, it's just really kind of overcast today, huh? There's the airport entrance. Kind of zoom in on that a little bit. Yeah, just a fantastic job with this airport. So I don't know what Russ is going to do next. I know he's been working on with the Turbulent guys in terms of all of their current projects. I think he helped out with Big Bear. So as far as the next Russ Wright project, one thing for sure is it will come a lot sooner than the amount of time it took MBS to get done. And without giving away really any information you don't need to know, but Russ was also helping out other developers on other projects, stuff like that. So MBS kind of took a little bit of a back seat. So it's not that it's been in development for as long. It stopped development for a period of time. So definitely now that Russ is on the Turbulent team, I definitely think his next project, whichever one it's going to be. I hope it's the one that we discussed because I think that's going to be great. But, one thing that we can expect, assuming that his plans are still as they were, is you can expect airports in larger scale than what we see here, in equal scale in back to some of his smaller stuff, like his old kind of Airfield type stuff. That he was so known for over at Orbic. So we can kind of expect kind of a what's the word that I'm looking for? A combination of these airports. This is like a nice screenshot right here, where the average Joe gets to stand at the fence. And this is what I'll be doing at MBS. I'll be going around the airport perimeter and taking some B-roll footage for Flight SimCon. So we'll be outside the airfield, kind of looking in, maybe doing some early morning spotting too. That's nice. I mean, the way that glass was done is just like really impeccable here. I can sit here and just stare at this all day. I mean, here's the thing. So I was never really all that big of a fan of Denver Airport as an airport. It's just kind of simple looking airport. But when Flightbeam did it, I fell in love with it and it became my favorite scenery. San Francisco, it is a nice looking airport, but it's not really architecturally artistic like what we see now. But again, Flightbeam hits it, it's great. Dulles to me is an ugly airport. I've been through Dulles. I respect the classic control tower and the main atrium building there because, you know, that's landmark architecture. But the actual piers where the airplanes park, I mean, there's nothing pleasing to the eye at Dulles for that. It's just really ugly. And you think about how important Dulles is as an airport. So why don't they make better looking terminals? I mean, not just better looking, but they're very cramped, tight terminals. Like you would think that by now they would. Same thing goes for Atlanta too. It's not a very pretty looking airport. It just kind of is what it is. So when it comes to Minneapolis, and I know some people are going to disagree. Ross, I think that's his home airport. He's probably going to choke me. You know, Minneapolis, I've never seen Minneapolis as a attractive looking airport. But once we saw those preview videos that Flightbeam uploaded in anticipation for prepared version 4, oh my freaking God. I mean, it just looks so freaking amazing. I see Ross is commenting down there. Yeah, he's going to tell me to shut the hell up. No, but the scenery just looks amazing. Like, you know, I'll never look at Minneapolis the same way again because it's just something about Flightbeam and their affinity to make things just look so freaking like insane. The same thing goes with Dulles. So how that differs from MBS here is this is a beautiful looking airport. Like it is very artistic. I mean, I'm not sure who the architect was here on this airport, but I mean, just look at the waves. You know, Hdx Design kind of captured this a little bit, but this is kind of what I was saying about Hdx Design. And if you go back and look at some of the reviews that I did on some of the Polish airports, is Poland right now is like in a renaissance with airport architecture. And, you know, they have a lot of this sort of look, but, you know, a lot of those earlier Hdx releases, they went with the photoreal look. And that was one of the things in my written reviews. Again, I'm kind of going back to my written reviews. And you guys know when I write a review, I don't do that 2-page, that 2-paragraph, 10 screenshots crap that I tend to see in a lot of other places. When I write a review, I'm writing like a freaking novel. So that's kind of the reason why I haven't done reviews, is because I can't just do a paragraph. If I'm going to do a review, I'm going to go all out and do a proper review and make sure that it takes you a week to read it. So back during those older reviews, one of the things I kept saying in all of those Hdx airports is get away from the photoreal and bring us glass. And this is the difference. This is kind of what you look at. So if we go back and we look at those Polish airports, essentially we would be looking at, you know, style that looks a lot like this, which is very artistic in value in terms of how it's represented. And I guess if it's one thing that I'm trying to accomplish here is I'm trying to get people to change the way that they look at, experience, and perceive their scenery. You know, an airport is not just meant to be a placeholder, you know, to park your airplane. I'm trying to make these pans really smooth, but it's not really working out that way. it's not, I don't think it's really meant to just be a placeholder to park your airplane. Like, I think it's something that really should be admired. You should really take a minute and just take in the work that goes into these works, because a lot of us, I think we get the airport and we can't wait to load up our favorite airplane and get to work. And if it's one of the things that I've always aimed to do with Air Daily X is to really bring to the forefront the attention that developers put in their work, because they deserve the recognition for the work that they do. I know that I don't do gold awards and all that stuff because everybody would be getting a gold award, and I don't know. It's just like I'd be handing them out like candy and it wouldn't make any sense for it to exist. So, I know different websites have their ways in terms of how they hand out awards. And I know a few developers have said, you should do awards, but it's like, chances are, if I'm covering your scenery, it's a gold award. I mean, that's that's pretty much it. Like, I'd hand them out to everybody, and if I don't hand one out to someone, it's like I'm going to hate myself for not handing one out to someone because, I love the work that they all do. But anyway, MBS really is an architectural masterpiece, and Russ White has really, he's done it. I mean, he's accomplished it. So, like I said, back before he even started the airport, he's like, I'm thinking of doing MBS. I didn't even know what the hell MBS was or where it was. I had to go Google it and figure out where it was. But when he was like, when you pull up the pictures, you'll know why. So for those of you who never heard of MBS, or you don't know where it is or why a developer would do it, again, just look at this live stream and now you know why. And I think the scenery, it speaks for itself. It really does. So there's more to the scenery than just the airport. And I've spent a lot of time at the airport here, but it's time to start taking a look at the other parts of the scenery. And usually when I do a scenery, I save the main terminal for last because that's usually the centerpiece. But it's hard not to do it because once you park at it, you're just there, I'm going to play with my offset here really quickly. Just look at that. That's just incredible. Just kind of playing with the night lighting here in the shadows. I just love that. And you can also kind of see there a little bit of specular mapping there on the terminal textures. All right, so there's more to see. So let's, now would probably be an opportune time to grab my trusty helicopter. We'll put the drone down here. And we'll grab the helicopter and fly around. Additionally, I think I might kill AS 2016 so that we can kind of see this overcast is kind of dreary right now. So let's also do that. So let's turn that off. I'm going to turn off AS 2016. I still want some clouds, though. I don't want just a blue sky. Because we want some of those cloud shadows, don't we? So, weather. Let's try. Let me see. Is this going to give me too many clouds? I don't want too many clouds. That looks okay, I guess. Maybe one of the Orbix weather themes. By the way, you know how we have these Orbix weather themes? Can Orbix or somebody please make more weather themes? Pretty please. It'd be nice to have more like kind of weather themes when one does not want to use real world weather. I'm trying to find something that looks nice. I don't know. This is still kind of overcasty. And I don't want rain in my shot. And I think if I go to this next one, I'm going to wind up getting rain. Let me see. Orbix weather 7. Let's try this. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, let's do that. I like that. All right, and I'm going to grab my helicopter. My little helicopter. Somewhere around here. Okay. And let's see, any updates? Don't diss my transportation buildings, buddy. Let's see. Oh, look at that. All right, D, you changed my mind. Interiors look awesome, and I'm now in for interior modeling. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the dark side. Look at that. See, my preaching to the flock does pay off. I always wonder if anyone ever actually listens to my rambling. Let's see here. And SK331 is saying it's actually a nice match with the upcoming CRJ. This airport is like, it was made for the CRJ. Literally, look at the jet bridges. Look how low they are to the ground. Like, this airport was made for the CRJ. I mean, there is no better airplane to put here than that. And maybe the C series when that comes out, or when I forgot to write the post, but one of the guys that's developing the E-jets. I've got to get around to that. Okay, let's see. And one person saying, I don't see what the draw is to the CRJ. You know what? It's the all North American regional jet. I mean, you know, if you go to Europe, the draw to the regional jet would be your Fokker F-70 or 100 or BAE 146 sort of thing, or Avroliner. For North America, it's really, even though the CRJ is really prominent in Europe, don't get me wrong, but you know, the CRJ really is the prominent North American sort of regional jet. It's the next best thing when you step down from a 737, and it's the first thing you fly before you step up to a 737 sort of thing. So, you know, everyone that are big fans of the NGX, you know, the next step down for them would be the CRJ, and there are just certain airports that are more fitting for the CRJ to fly into, as opposed to, you know, a 737 or an A320 or A319 or something like that. So, all right, let's get this helicopter thing working out here. What's going on? You know what? I'm going to cheat like I always do. No, I don't want to do that. Damn, let's back up. I already broke the terminal. And that shakiness is really gonna make me dizzy here. Let's turn off these motion effects here. Motion effects in airplanes are great. In helicopters, not so much. There's too much rattling and stuff going on. Okay. And let's just move to this exterior view here. Again, I want to note that ground poly, because look at that. Look at those details. And the paint, everything. All right, here we go. And let's go back to our full screen mode here. And let's take a look around the surroundings. So we've got better weather now, so we can really get a good look at the surroundings here. And I don't know if you guys can hear that helicopter. Hopefully you can hear that. Can you guys hear the helicopter? My voice sounds better with the sound of the helicopter in the background. Kind of reminds me of watching Tour de France. So here we are now taking a look at the bigger picture here. As you can see here, we've got a full perimeter fence. All of these custom trees, by the way. So if we go back and look at, if you go back to Air Daily X and you look at all the posts, you can just pull up MBS or WDS over at Air Daily X, and you can see the pictures. So Russ spent a lot of time, again, going back to the origins of the airport. You know, he had to spend a lot of time developing the vegetation library. So all of these trees, you can see the difference between Russ trees and the Hdx Trees, because Russ's trees is sort of a brighter green to sort of match the PR. So you can see they are a brighter green, whereas the what do you call that? The Trees HD are they're slightly darker in color, which is really the only indication that kind of shows you the differences between the scenery coverage area and what's outside of it. I was trying to get the helicopter down so we can look at this building over here. So quite a few buildings here. So all of these are part of Russ White's vegetation libraries here. Really beautiful looking trees. come back down here a little bit. Try to actually bring our altitude down a bit. So again, you can see the difference. You have the Hdx trees there in the background, which are a bit darker, and russet trees here, which are a bit brighter. So again, those are pretty much going to be the only indications that you're really going to have in terms of where the threshold falls between the scenery coverage area and actually these also might be his trees too, these darker ones. I don't know now. Let me get a little bit closer here, because I'm looking at these houses. These are definitely, this is still part of the scenery, these houses here. These might actually be his trees too. Now that I think about it, I'm actually not even sure. I actually don't even know. These actually, I think these might actually be part of the scenery as well. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, I think these are actually, his trees as well. You know what? Wow, it's so dark. Oh, I'm going to crash through the trees. I'm trying to adjust the lighting here. It is so dark. Let me move that out of the way. There we go. That's a little bit better. The only problem with shadows is things do tend to get really, really dark with the shadows turned on. So, and then another thing too are the neighborhoods that sort of sit right outside the airport, which if I can find some of these neighborhoods. Let me see, let's turn back towards the airport here. Here we have some wind farms, which, by the way, I know we always see these wind farms from like the motorway or the freeway, and they always seem far out on the prairie. But you ever find yourself close to one of these things, they are freaking loud. They are extremely loud. Let's see here. Let's see what this little thing is over here somewhere. What is that? So you can see here all this vegetation that's just very neatly placed. And we are like outside of the airport. And still you can see how neatly everything is placed here. Random buildings and houses and the tree vegetation. We're getting back into the brighter trees now. And it's like that every single one of these trees have to be placed one by one. Here are some of the custom houses, tract houses in these neighborhoods around the airport. You have a lot of, you have a few tract housing communities right outside MBS. I haven't seen one yet. Actually, what I'm kind of looking for right now is the, that little, what do you call that thing? That little farm thingy that spins in the wind. I can't think of the name of it. It's around here somewhere. I want to find it. I see a water tower. And if you go back, again, referencing, I think, the most recent review that I wrote, which was the A2A Comanche. The A2A Comanche review that I wrote a couple of years ago, I think I wrote that review back in 2015. If you go back and read that review, I actually used MBS in the review. I used a big part of the airport here in MBS. So a lot of people were asking, like, where is that? Where did you take those screenshots? So yeah, even though a couple of years before the scenery is even released, I actually, oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Before the scenery was even released, I had actually used the scenery in one of my reviews. So if you go back and read that Comanche, the A2A Comanche review, you'll see. And we're gonna go to that area here in just a second. Just look at how detailed this is. This is upstate Michigan here. It's really nice. Look at that. And it's actually turning too. I tell you, it's the little things. You'll never see this thing at 130 knots on final approach. You'll never see these little details. Though they're breezing by much too fast underneath your landing gear. But again, it's all these little attention to detail that just makes all the difference. And like I said, you can tell what developers are really passionate about their craft and what they do. It's obvious because of stuff like this. Just fantastic. All right, that's what I was looking for. I'm happy now that I found that. And then let's see if we can find one of those little like tract housing neighborhoods. Should be around here somewhere. I really can't wait to see this airport in version 4. Unfortunately, I won't be able to until after the convention, but I really can't wait. Let's see, I think we're going to come out over here. Again, looking at that PR. And another thing, too, that I want to show off, you did already see that on the daily news page, is this amazing control panel that they put together for this as well. Really terrific control panel. It's actually the best looking control panel I think I've seen so far. So the only thing, though, like I said, is just to decouple the static CRJ at the terminal from the statics at the hangars. Look at these all-American tract homes here with their cars out front. Again, he's done all of these custom houses, custom vegetation, custom cars, and has completely created the neighborhoods that surround the airport. That is attention to detail. So yeah, I'm seeing some people right now. They're saying, "Oh yeah, I'm buying this." I think a lot of people are going to buy this scenery after this stream. I like to see my developers get paid. So look at that. And then there's another neighborhood over here. We'll head over here. So one of the things I did, because this part of the scenery, I've had this now on my hard drive for a long time. And one of the first things I did was I went on to Google Earth to see how accurate really is it with these types of houses and buildings. And he nailed it. If you go on Google Earth, you will see that he nailed it. These are all tract houses. For which their designs are definitely modeled after the actual houses in this area. All the buildings, everything, the roads, everything is there. These entire neighborhoods, these tract house neighborhoods. So, I mean, this scenery is just completely authentic. Completely. It's amazing. I'm not pissing these people off driving my car. Now, I know that, I don't know if I should say this, but I know that one of the features that Russ wanted to do, I can see that he didn't have time to implement it, but I kid you not. One of the features Russ wanted to do was, as he said, you know, I really want to add, I really want this scenery to be really feature intensive. And so one of the things that he wanted to do was, he said, okay, I want to have, you know, animated traffic in these neighborhoods where cars will actually drive down their streets, they'll park in their driveways, and they'll sit there for, you know, a set period of time, and then they'll back out of the driveway and then go back down the street and go somewhere else. So that's how far. I think some devs would say, okay, we're pushing feature creep at that point, but that's just that gives you a little bit of insight into how Russ thinks and how, you know, his own approach and take when it comes to detail. There's a little football field here. So if that gives you any insight into the inner workings of Russ White, there you have it. He really, really likes to put the attention in the detail. That little gnat is back. All right, so now we're going to head over to my other favorite part of the airport, which is the area that I included in my Comanche review a couple years back, and that is the abandoned airfield. So as we were flying into the airport, one of the things that I mentioned is that, you know, it's a regional airport, but Russ included his style that you would know from Damon's Hall over in the UK when he released that project for Orbix. And so he's brought that Damon's Hall flair into MBS, and this is an actual abandoned runway. That is, there's a little quarry here that he's at. Nice water masking here. He did include that in the scenery. There it is. And so it is an actual part of the actual airport. So this is actually out there, lest anyone think that this is just a cute little made-up area. No, it is actually there. There's another little farm village there. A farm village, or just, you know, little barns and whatnot over there. Zoom in here, because now we're approaching the abandoned airfield. Or at least I thought we were. Oh, is that not it? I thought that was it. That little area in between the trees. No, that wasn't it. All right. I think it's on the other side of the airport. And Ross is saying Airsoft Twin Otter has been updated for prepared version 4. Nice. I love that airplane. And Illinois Simmer is saying that MBS, all airline traffic into MBS are CRJ. So if someone was asking before, why do we need, well, what's the big thing about the CRJ? There you go. They only get CRJ traffic. And that's why I said earlier, I said, you know, this airport was designed for the CRJ. I mean, you know, it's pretty obvious. Here's the abandoned airfield here. I just love this part of the scenery. This is where I did my A2A review here. That part of the review, I basically stole Scott's Comanche, and then I fly it to this abandoned airfield where no one can find me. At the time, I don't think no one knew that this was part of the MBS scenery, but yeah, everyone was like, where was that abandoned airfield that you flew into? That looked so awesome. So here it is. And here, this is great because you sort of have this, like, this little hodgepodge of all this nice vegetation here. In fact, I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause the simulator here. Give me a second because I want to show you something. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this for you really quickly. I want you to understand the importance that Russ kind of wanted you to kind of feel. I want you to understand the importance this airstrip that Russ kind of wanted you to. Oh, where's that kind of feel? Oh, that's me. I was like, who's that asshole's voice? That guy sounds like an idiot. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find this. Where is it? Is it the old Air Daily X? It might be the old Air Daily X website, huh? Give me a second. I really want to find this. Hang on one second. It's worth a watch if you've never seen it. Nope. No, it's definitely... Come on, find it. Hang on, let me find this here. Hang on, let me find this here. Let me see here. Let me find this. Give me 1 second, guys. I really need to find this. Darn it. I know it's in here somewhere. Let me try just typing in Russ White, maybe. I'm looking at some of these old articles I wrote. Sometimes I don't know what I'm thinking. Is this I'm looking at some of these old articles I wrote. Sometimes I don't know what I'm thinking. Damn it! Is that idiot talking again? Some of these old articles I wrote. Let me see. Maybe it's this one. Damn, no, it's not. Let me see. Maybe it's this one. can I find this? Hang on a second. I'm not going to stop until I find this. Let me see. Maybe it's white digital simulations. Where did he put this? It's got to be in here. Okay, hang on. This is it. Sorry, guys. You probably want to see what I'm looking at, what I'm trying to find here. I'll go to the desktop here. I'm trying to find... Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Hdx Trees. Nope, that's not that one. I think it's this one. There it is. Okay, this is what I wanted you guys to see. All right.
Hi, it's Russ White from WDS, and today we're going to take a look at the new grass and ground vegetation.
Actually, let me, is this HD? Because it doesn't look like HD. It's 720. Oh, I guess it recorded.
System developed as part of the core content for WDS airports. Typically, 3D grass in flight sim tends to be a repeated single image, which can quickly turn into a solid mass of green with no distinguishable features. So the focus here really is to create a new system for displaying much more realistic 3D grass with diversity and detail. And what you're looking at now is a result of all the testing and development that's gone into that. So it's designed really to provide large-scale coverage, but with but at the same time maintaining performance. So a minimal impact on performance is one of the key development features here, and also the ability to display realistic variation and a great amount of detail. So as the camera moves through here, you can see the grass gradually changes in height, but also in density and colour, with mixed areas of grass species helping to sell the diversity that typically you would find in a natural environment. The growth of different species is also specific to areas in relation to other species, so it's not just a random mess. So what that means is that, for example, the daisies and the dandelions here are only found in this shorter area of low density patchy grass. They're not just spread completely across the total coverage area, so they're specific to areas that in reality they would naturally grow in. Whereas the taller weeds and grasses you can see also stick to their own localized areas in clumps, such as they would in the real world, and generally be associated with wetter soil. So again, you know, that perfectly suits the sort of drainage ditches that are commonly found running parallel to taxiways. You can also see here some of the new Hdx trees, as recently previewed on the forum a few weeks back. These are just some of the deciduous trees. The fir and pine trees that were also part of that recent preview are absent from this scene because they're not really suited to this scenario, but they'll probably feature in another video at some point. So essentially what you're seeing here is a foliage test area that I'm just swinging the camera around in. So it's more of a tech demo, and of course it's still work in progress, but the purpose of this really is to give you a little insight into the sort of ground environment that you can expect around the taxiways and aprons at WDS airports. So whilst a lot of attention generally goes into the texturing detail of the aprons and the taxiways when you're at third-party airports, generally once you get away from that and you get into the surrounding terrain, the detail tends to be neglected somewhat. So the idea of this really is to continue that level of immersion from the taxiway or the apron or the runway off into the immediate surrounding terrain. Plus, anyone who is a helicopter enthusiast will love playing with this stuff because it adds a completely new level of immersion to low-level ground proximity flying. So if we go ahead now and add a helicopter into this scenario, you can see exactly what it would be like from the viewpoint of the simmer to fly into and land in this new environment. So straight away from in the cockpit on the approach, you can see the ground has a whole extra dimension. It's got depth and detail, and it makes judging your altitude, as you can see here straight away, much more intuitive and natural, but also forces you to look for a more appropriate area to land. For instance, the tall grasses and weeds here would snag up your tail rotor if you tried to put it down. So As a pilot, you now face a much more real-world scenario where you need to look for the most appropriate and safest place to land. So you can take a few seconds to survey the area for a better sight, and for instance maneuver over here where the grass is much shorter and less dense, and we can put the skids down safely next to the dandelions and daisies. Incidentally, all of these plants and grass species are created from dedicated digital photography together with some custom processes for divergence and dispersal and placement, etc. So it's also worth noting actually at this point that every single shot you see here in this video is completely as it appeared in the sim when I recorded it. There's no image editing or manipulation. There's not even any contrast or sharpen adjustment. There's nothing at all. It's completely virgin fraps capture. What you see is what you get, so it gives you the best possible idea of what this is going to look like when it's installed in your simulator. So that's it for now. If you've got any questions, suggestions or feedback, then feel free to put them to me on the WDS forum by visiting www.wdsims.com and clicking through to the forum. Okay, thanks for watching.
So yeah, that's I had to find that because I really needed you to hear it from the developer himself, from the man himself, why that entire area is so important. So now that we've done that, we can go in and kind of play with that a little bit. Yeah, one of the things I mentioned earlier, you noticed that he mentioned WDS, which is Russ White. That stands for White Digital Simulations, and that's Russ White's own little sort of development brand post Orbix. But now that the scenery is actually being released via Turbulent, I believe the appropriate form would definitely be via the Turbulent Designs websites for any support queries and stuff like that. So anyway, hello Captain Dave Paula. How's it going? All right, so now that again, I wanted you to hear that from him directly. I hope you guys could hear that. Could everyone hear that? I realized that the volume was pretty low. I will play that again if I need to, if you guys couldn't hear Russ in that video. Can I just get a hit from someone if you guys could actually hear that? Because yeah, before I get started in this area, I want to just make sure the sound. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I just want to make sure you guys could hear them. So now we can kind of play with this a little bit. Let's see here. So let's go back full screen, and then I'll need track IR again because again, like he was saying, how he wanted to work on the depth in the vegetation from the flight deck perspective here. And again, a lot of people say, oh, DeAndre, you and your effing parking lots, which is true. And once developers started making parking lots, which is really not so much just a parking lot, but the land side of the airport terminals, once those started getting good, my next step was, okay, well, now what can I do? What else could be better? And so for me, I transitioned over to vegetation. And it's like, okay, well, the next thing that developers could be doing better is better vegetation. Where's Chase plane? I need to back this thing up a bit. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, that should be fine. Was vegetation. So let me see. I might need to stop this from moving now. That's going to keep scrolling. That's better. And so as you can clearly see, this is one fine example of why excellent vegetation can really have a significant impact on a scenery. So let's go ahead and take off the pause button here. And we can actually look around now and see if we can't find a decent place to land somewhere in the brush. And additionally, that runway is there, so you can still land on it if you like to, which should provide a nice scenic approach for an airfield as well. So for people like me that are fans of helicopter flying, this is definitely an area where you'll have a lot of fun. Kind of thinking back, speaking of helicopters, thinking back to that big prepared live stream that we did with all the developers, and I'm going to have that coming up soon as well. I'm going to work on that today so I can get that back up for you. But one of the big things that Colin Pearson, I said Colin, that Colin Pearson had brought up in terms of their relationship with the prepared team was getting better helicopter dynamics, flight dynamics. So that's one of the big requests that's kind of pending for Prepared to do, because I think the better we can get the physics engine for helicopters, the better it's really going to be. And I think the more people will be more interested in flying helicopters in the simulator as well. I think the big thing right now is a lot of people feel that it just doesn't feel realistic enough right now, and I know that typically tends to be where many FSX and Prepared fans will typically tend to go to X-Plane for, is because X-Plane has nailed that down quite well. So here is the little abandoned airfield area, which is a lot of fun to just kind of play around in. It's almost like a little obstacle course for helicopters, and if you like to go on a joint FS and do group flights and stuff like that, I mean, just imagine 10 helicopters in here just trying to maneuver around each other and fool around in this little kind of like obstacle course area here. Ooh, that was almost too low. Almost took out one of those trees. Let's see here, and then I'll move into the brush here a little bit and land somewhere. Let's put that gear down. Let me see. Is this a safe place to land? Let's take a look at that vegetation. Ooh, that's pretty high. Oops. I went out of range of track IR. That's a little high, I think, huh? Let's maybe move along here a little bit. So all this vegetation here is much too high. Let's find another spot. Ooh, that's really high. So we don't want to land in that. We'll be trimming the lawn here. Let's see. Well, he said to look for the daisies and stuff, right? Because that's where it really kind of flattens out. So let's see if we can find where kind of like the dandelions and daisies are down here. Let's see. A lot of this is really high in here. Really tight. Let's see. I don't see the dandelions and stuff. Let's see. Could be the time of year too, maybe. You see, a lot of this brush looks a little bit high. I actually don't see them. It could be the time of year. Maybe they come out in spring. I don't know how he has the vegetation coated, but I'm actually not seeing them down here. They were really getting a little close to that tree. They were really plentiful in the video that he posted, but I'm actually not seeing them in here anywhere. But anyway, this should give you a nice idea. I think this should be kind of low enough to kind of settle down right here, even though that this grass is still kind of high. But we'll just kind of put it down right here. There we go. So that's why this whole area is so special. So for those that read my Comanche review and kept wondering where is that area that this review is in, it was down in here. So again, we already saw just how beautiful that main terminal area is, but now if you just move just outside of the actual airport perimeter, you get a nice little treat. There's like so much more to the scenery than what you see at face value. So it's very important to kind of give you an idea of, when Russ White, when he sets out to do a project, he doesn't fool around. I mean, he really does go all out. And this is kind of why he chose MBS, because of this little kind of feature here as well that gives you more than just the airport for your CRJ. It gives you a little something to do with your helicopter or with your general aviation. You can do nice little touch and goes on this abandoned runway. And in fact, let me put the helicopter down on this runway here real quick, because I mean, just look at the texturing of this runway, which is really incredible. Put that gear back down. All right, it's down. Let's go back to the outside view here. Sorry, I'm looking around and my track IR field of view is not very good. So here's an excellent example. Look at the texture, the polygon on this. You've got the sort of the textures of the grass kind of poking up, and you can go on Google Earth and you can just see just how authentic this is. So I forgot how many thousands of dollars Russ said the PR was for this project. I think it was like upwards of close to like $5,000 or something like that to be able to make this possible. But I mean, it goes to show, the sacrifices and the effort and what developers have to spend just in one part of a project. So I think a lot of people, they might think, oh, a developer, all they have to do is just sit at their computer all day and develop. No, they actually have to invest real money. And so, they also need to get returns on these investments as well. But you can see that, the more money that is spent, the better the quality is. So you can definitely see just how realistic this is. I see there's some comments there. A lot of people are saying that this just looks amazing. So that's good. Have I tried this new VEG in VR? Do you mean have I tried this particular scenery in VR? Actually, I have not yet. I have not had a lot of time to get into my Oculus, but the thing when it comes to Oculus, believe it or not, is my Oculus flying and flight simulation is pretty much almost strictly limited to helicopters. I very rarely pull out a fixed-wing aircraft when I'm in VR because helicopter immersion is just so amazing. But you're right, I actually should. That's a good point. Let's see, anything else? Shaky is saying we try to reach the best flight dynamics in a new Eurocopter. Shaky, if you want to send me an email on that, I'll take a look and get that info up for you. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look. I'm not sure who you are, but yeah, definitely email me that information if I don't know about it or if I haven't covered it already. So anyway, here it is, folks. This is the little abandoned airfield. That's a nice screenshot right there, isn't it? So it really gives you a great idea. By the way, our Turkish friends, they always get this little quiet shot out with this livery on the Milvis helicopter there with the little Turkish flag on there. This is my favorite livery on this aircraft. I just love that red and white, so I always just use this one. And there's not too many repaints for this thing as well. So, all right, so let's go back and head over to the airport. As we say goodbye to the little abandoned airfield area. And mind you, if you're just joining us, we are looking at Turbulent Designs MBS by Russ White. And this should be released. Today is Tuesday. It should be released, I think it's Friday or Saturday, that this scenery will be released. So you can't buy it just yet, but you will be this weekend. And you can come in and enjoy all of this. You are definitely going to love it. There it is from the sky there. As you can see where it is as it situates with the airport itself. In fact, let's go ahead and bring the helicopter up to a high elevation here, just so that we can see the whole picture. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and climb. Again, look how crisp and clean that PR is. I can't really look around too much. I don't know, my track IR keeps going out of field here. This is like really annoying. Stop. I don't know, man. It's like, what is an alternative to track IR? I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the outside here. There we go. So now we can get the bigger picture and see just how crisp that PR is. And yeah, you can kind of see the difference. Like this would be all FTX here. You can see the trees. It's really the vegetation. The vegetation gets a bit darker. You can see how he has his vegetation matching his PR coloration here. Another thing too is the winter textures. Yeah, we got to look at the winter. Let's go up just a little bit higher. And then we'll switch over to winter textures and then come on back down. So there's the big picture there. Now you see it all kind of in one shot there. There's the old abandoned airfield here. The main terminal over there. This is where the old terminal used to be. That's why there's such a large ramp area there now. I think it's just like an empty parking lot. And there's the neighborhood areas. You can see here the blending here with Open LC North America is, with the exception of the coloration of the trees, like it's seamless almost. Really, I think is you would say it's this road, but then you can see on the other side of that road, he's put the quarry in more neighborhoods there. So it's like, where is the threshold? If you look, you have to look really hard to see it. But if you're flying into it in your airplane, you're not going to notice it, and that's kind of what developers aim to do when texture blending. Also, you'll note that, and I should say this too, so that I don't leave out the Mega Scenery Earth people. Let's quickly take a look at that control panel. I think rather than try to find where the control panel is at, it might be easier. Well, no, I probably should just pull it up. I think as long as I don't click anything, it should be okay. It should say something like Turbulent Terminal. There it is, Turbulent Terminal. Let's go to the desktop here. Let's get rid of that. Turbulent Terminal. Let's move some of this stuff up here. Ooh, this thing is screaming here. There's a way to fix that. Let's see if this stops blinking by the time this is done. Almost there. This is a program called Alacrity PC. You can find it well, you can just Google it. This guy's a flight simulation enthusiast. He developed this program several years ago. And what this does is you have a number of user-selected programs that run in the background and chew up memory. This stuff is not really necessary anymore now that prepared version 4 is out, to be honest. But if you're like me and you just don't want a lot of crap running around in the background, that's kind of what this is. So you kind of have to go through the list, and it tells you kind of like everything that's there. Everything that's kind of in there that you can kind of turn off or so on and so forth. So it's very useful for stuff like that. I guess we didn't clear that, but that's okay. So this is the control panel here, and you see there I have my Angwin Parrot, my Big Bear City, and then I've got MBS. So I'm pretty sure this stuff is installed, right? Oh shoot, it's not installed? Wow. Rustlin's like, really? Really? Anyway, okay, so here we are. So this is MBS here. So you can see here where I disabled the static aircraft. It took away all the aircraft, unfortunately, and I wanted to really keep the GA aircraft in position while removing the static aircraft from the main terminal area. So hopefully they can release something or a fix for that or something like that. Here we have, so you have just default FS, FTX Global, which of course, as you can see, I'm using Global in Open LC North America. And you can see there, the blending there is perfectly, so I guess you would just select that. And then you have Mega Scenery Earth. For you Mega Scenery Earth fans out there, they have an option available for you as well. And then depending on your system, if you want to get rid of a lot of stuff, if you really didn't like all that beautiful vegetation that we were just playing around with, you can disable all of that. So the 3D trees, the dense trees that we see all around the airport there, all of this stuff you can turn off, all rendered by the Sim-Object Display Engine, of course. I think you should turn it on because it's literally, this is the stuff that makes the airport. And then you have the scenery vehicles, which is the stuff around like in the little neighborhoods and stuff. Airport car park, animated turbines, which I think is what we saw earlier when we were circling around the little farm fields there. Ground service vehicles, which look very, very magnificent. Great job on that. And of course, random clutter. And that's pretty much it. But you can see here, this is a really good looking, very good looking control panel here. So shout out to, I believe that was James that did that. I forgot who he said. Who am I giving the shout out to who did this? Let me go to Skype and pull up all my conversations with the developers here. Oh shoot, I need to plug in my phone. There we go. Who did that? James. Okay, yeah, I did get that right. So, James, is that James Cornford? I think. I don't know if I'm getting any right or not. But anyway, yeah. So excellent job on this control panel, and it has that indigenous turbulent sort of green feel to it. So very nicely done. They've got a YouTube page, which is just the initial Turbulent Designs teaser. They've got a Twitter page here. Oh, some cool stuff here too. Looks like they did y'all need to be out at Flight Sim Con. I don't know what all this other stuff y'all going to. You guys need to be coming out to Flight Sim Con. Heck is going on up in here? Anyway, so and then of course you see a lot of stuff here from other news sites here, and you can also kind of see in here they have these developer. What do you call those? Developer blog. So, for example, here's one here. It says, Russ Lynn, what are you up to? They kind of repost a lot of the stuff here that we all post kind of in the background. And where is it? So, this is one from Russ Lynn. So, if you go to the Turbulent Designs website, which we are here now, they have little developers blogs where they just like to talk a little bit about the work. This one in particular is Idaho Falls, which you can already see is going to be insane. So, that'll be the next... hopefully that'll be the next Turbulent Designs release, is this Idaho Falls. So if you're digging already the size of the airport that MBS is and the quality, Idaho Falls is just going to be like right up on top of it. So looks like the most recent one was from June 2017. Okay, and that's about MBS. And then I guess the last one before that was January. So yeah, you can pick up their Twitter page here. And what else do we have here? We've got the Facebook page. So if you haven't liked the Twitter page and the Facebook page, definitely make sure you do that as well. Not now. And there you go. And there's the crew again. If you guys missed that earlier in the stream, this is the entire crew. So I haven't quite figured out these three. And one of these three is definitely James. I'm not sure who he is. That's Russ White there, and that's Greg and Russ Lynn there. Greg Jones and Russ Lynn there on that side. I think those are the three faces I think I recognize. Everyone else I don't think I quite recognize. So, and there's a Facebook page. So anyway, all of the stuff which you can get from the control panel. So all that said, let's go ahead and bring on the winter textures now. Let's see, time and season. Let's go to February. I find February is nice and snowy. Nay. Prepared version 4, people. Can't preach that enough. Prepared version 4. It's time. All right, I'll go ahead and restart. How long has the stream been going for, by the way? Damn, 2 hours and 40 minutes you guys have been watching me run my file. Let's see here. Anything else here in the chats? Oh, so Captain is saying, I can tell you one thing for sure. Once the Aerosoft CRJ releases, MBS will get a lot of traffic. Yeah, oh, without a doubt. No one knows when that's... you know what? I'm going to go on the record right now. I'm going to go on the record right now and say that the Aerosoft CRJ is not going to be released this year. And that's pure what is it? What's the word? Speculation. It's pure speculation. But the thing is I said it last year and it didn't get released last year. I said it the year before last. I said it wouldn't get released before the end of this year. It didn't get released. And I'm not a part of the beta team. I'm not on the inner tiers on anything to do with that project. I was told that I would get a copy when it reached its final beta, but that was about it. So I can tell you that, and I haven't really been asking, but I can tell you that every year that I said it wasn't going to come out, it didn't come out. So am I jinxing it or not? I don't know. All I'm saying is I don't think it's going to be this year. Now, do I hope that Hans and team, if there is such a team, that's working with him on this thing, do I hope that they will release it this year? Absolutely. Do I want them to prove me wrong? Absolutely. Do I think it'll be released this year? No. I don't. I just don't see it. I don't see it, because if it was, I think we would be seeing like what PMDG does when they get close to a release, right? Like all the big YouTubers would have it, and they would, they would be showing it off, and it's just too quiet. It's too quiet. But listen, we're only in June, so we're basically we're just right at the middle for 2017, and a lot can happen over the coming months. I just don't think it's going to be this year. So anyway, but yes, to echo Illinois Simmer, this is going to be this is going to be a great airport for the CRJ. Ross saying, whoever was asking about the Real Air Legacy working P3D before, he has it loaded and it seems to be working fine. Yeah, that was one of the first things that was tried during the beta, in the beta forums. A lot of random folks were just trying out different add-ons to see what would work. So after Flight SimCon, we'll have a comprehensive list of things that unofficially work really well in prepared version 4 that you would not necessarily be aware of, as well as, oh damn it, I didn't want that airplane. That's okay. As well as all the stuff that we do know about and stuff that's coming out. So after Flight SimCon, a lot of people, I've been getting a lot of emails of people asking when is that prepared version 4 compatibility list going to come out, and it's going to be after the convention. So right now, it's really all eyes on the convention. I haven't really been focusing even all that much on news right now, because today is the last day that I have to do live streams. So I want to try to do at least one more tonight. So, I want to do at least one more. I have to pick and see which one I can do tonight, because come tomorrow, I'm going to be wrapping up all my last errands before I fly out on Thursday. So I'm trying to get all the last things done that I need to do. And so Wednesday is going to be all day errands and paying bills and stuff like that. So so that'll be Wednesday, and then Thursday I'm like on an 8:30 a.m. flight. So God, and it's an A320 too. Why could it not be a 757? Why? Anyway, so today's the last day for stream. So at the very least, we got 2 products that are not out yet that you guys can see before it comes out. So a nice little bit of an excuse of before Flight SimCon. So I really hope to see all of you at Flight SimCon. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's really gonna be awesome. It's going to be amazing. And so anyway, every year after I get feedback from the previous convention about sound and audio and all that stuff, I go in and start spending more money on stuff to try to make the next year better. So hopefully all of my investments are going to pay off, because my wife can tell you I spent a lot of fucking money on shit. So anyway, so hopefully it's for those of you who can't be there that are going to be watching from home, and even for those of you who are actually there, you're obviously there browsing around and chatting with the developers or inside seminars, so you don't get to see what's happening live anyway because you're busy enjoying the convention. So in those cases, when you get back, I'll have a bunch of videos lined out just like last year as well. So, okay, here we are. We're back in the simulator. I forgot to put on the winter textures. So let's go back to time and season and do that right now. And let's go back to the simulator as well. What did I say? I said, I can't wait to see this scenery in prepared V4. Unfortunately, my beta copy has expired, so I have no V4 anymore. So, yeah, I've got to wait. But I obviously, like I said before, I need to buy more hard drives. My plan going forward is I'm going to put X-Plane and FSW on one hard drive, because between those 2 platforms, I don't plan to use a lot of add-ons at all. So between those 2, they will share a 1 terabyte SSD, and then I'm going to have another separate 1 terabyte SSD for prepared V4. The current version 3 sits on the C drive, which is another 1 terabyte SSD. And I plan to keep version 3 around for at least a year, because by then we'll have a very clear indication in terms of what add-ons are going to work, what's not going to work. And if there are add-ons that I love too dearly that won't work in version 4, then it will be worth keeping version 3 around just to enjoy those third-party add-ons. So we'll see. Jet FA, you're asking why am I flying Delta? That's the thing too, because my wife booked the ticket, and she was looking for the cheapest ticket, so she booked the ticket on American, and I'm actually going through. I'm going through Charlotte because I think they stopped that direct flight into BDL. I'm not sure. But anyway, she had me going through Charlotte because the one-way ticket was like $120 or whatever. She wanted to find the cheapest ticket. To fly Delta, it was like $400, but I would have been okay with that for two things. Number one, because of equipment, because Delta flies the best equipment. Although I don't care I'm not an Airbus fan, so I don't really like flying on Airbuses. But they have the MD-80s and the 717s and the 757s, which is my favorite airplane ever. So I love to fly on 757s, especially when I'm flying across the country. But yeah, so American was cheaper. The thing with Delta is I'm a gold medallion, so I would have gotten my lounge access, and I would have gotten. But oh well, that's fine, whatever. So I'm flying on American because it was a cheaper ticket. But I was at least hoping that American would have been flying the 757, but they do the A321 on that route. So, but yeah, Delta is usually my airline of choice when I fly personally in the U.S. Okay, so now we've got the winter textures. So I'm just in like the little trike, which I guess is fine. All right, let's punch it. Come on. So this is a perfect example. Actually, let me adjust some settings here real quick. Those all of those shadows, I had the shadows turned up to maximum. I think I'm going to turn them off now. Before they weren't really affecting. I weren't getting stutters. I wasn't getting stutters before. I am getting them now. So I'm going to turn off that now. It's going to be a little bit brighter too, so we can see the white much whiter. Much white after Russ White. Who's white? All right. Anyway, so one quick critique already that I can tell you is, in my book, not a good thing. Especially when it comes to winter textures. Let me go to the outside of this thing. All right, here we go. So here's the thing. And I pointed this out last night in the live stream of, what's that place? Trondheim. Is I really love the way that Joe did the snow textures because, and I mentioned to him in the stream, and I said some developers, when it's during the winter, the ramp and the taxiways and the runways are too clean. It's like, what's going on? And so one of the things you'll notice if you go back and watch that live stream, I hope it's on YouTube. In fact, let me make sure that stream made it over to YouTube. I hope it did. I have to get that up on the site. I just want to make sure that live stream did make it. Yes, it did. Okay, there it is. It is there. Okay, I wanted to make sure. I should also point out, too, that I also previewed Andres Hege's latest scenery in that stream as well. So definitely check that out, too. Okay, anyway, so... yeah, so in Joe's scenery, all of this is like covered in snow, which in real life it would be. And this is just too clean. And I like having that look of, the runways kind of like, ooh, this is off, looks like. I kind of like the runways sort of being covered in snow. That makes it look more realistic, especially the taxiways and stuff, and especially on the ramps and aprons where it's not fully covered in snow, but the wind blows kind of snow debris onto the ramp areas. And so that's one area that makes things look realistic. But when you have everything all white and covered in snow, and then the ramps are just perfectly spotless, like that kills the immersion value a little bit for me. So that's just one little area there. I'm going to just kind of like slew this here so that we can actually, because this is one part of the airport that we really didn't look at yet. So we'll just kind of slew around and kind of look at these details as well. These little K-rails here, everything is... The texture baking, the depth of all the textures are just so well done here. Yeah. So that would be a gripe. I did say at the beginning of the stream, I'm like, I'm not going to have any gripes for this scenery. As it turns out, I did, and that's just that all the ramps and aprons and roads, everything is just too clean, and there should be snowy debris and stuff sitting on top of all that. So this is a pretty picture. That's like a nice screenshot right there. Everything is all snowy and wintry. And then we'll pan around here. There's the main terminal across there. And then over here we have... Actually, you know what? I should have turned this. I don't know why I didn't turn the static aircraft back on since I had that OOM, because this would have been the excellent opportunity to be able to turn all those aircraft back on. So I don't know why I didn't think to do that. My bad. Here we have some of the terminals here. Not the terminals, I'm sorry, the hangars. I'm totally falling asleep. And I love the way the roads were done, too. You can, like, seriously get a car and just drive around on these roads. Again, too clean, though, for it to be a winter scene. But highly detailed, nonetheless. So, if I had to ask for, an update here anywhere, that would be definitely one of the updates as well, is to get a little bit more snow on these aprons and on the roads here. The roads is not so much big a deal because, we're not really literally driving down the roads, although you could. But definitely on the aprons, runways, and taxiways. And I love the way at Trondheim how it looks so caked up with snow. And that's why they... in Norway, you have the options for a lot of sceneries as well, and in real life, where they have yellow runway markings, so you can actually see them because there's so much snow covering the runways. Sometimes you can't see what's what, so they have the yellow markings, which is really good also. So in this case, right, we should have some more snow on the runways. Let's see, I see there's some comments here. Let's see. Oh, Nolan. You know what? The reason why is because I don't want to fly standby. This event is just too important to chance anything. Yeah. There's a reason why I'm a GOAT medallion in Delta, because there are just certain things that I don't leave to chance. I can tell you stories of sleeping in Zurich airport for 2 days when I was, in my early 20s and all that crap. I don't do that anymore. I'm too old for that crap. Anyway, Ross says, I need a partner. I work too hard. Yeah. Let's see. So Captain De Paula is saying, I'm calling Sheraton Bradley right now to see if there's any availability for the weekend. I can tell you that right now. There is no availability. That hotel booked out months ago. But there are other hotels you can stay at. So if I just I have nothing else better to do right now but stream. I have nothing else better to do right now. So I'll just go ahead and do this real quick. There are 2 other hotels. If you're really looking to come, you're not going to be able to stay at Bradley Sheraton, or the Sheraton Bradley, because it booked out like 2 months ago. This is going to be a big event this year, a really big event this year. But, okay, so if this is the Sheraton Bradley here, people are like, why are we doing this right now? This is the Sheraton Bradley here where we're having Flight Sim Con in this hotel here. Over here is the old New England Air Museum, which I still recommend people go and visit because they've got a great collection of aircraft in here. And right now they're doing construction. They're going to build another hangar like over here where all these little guys are parked at. So that's the New England Air Museum. But not that far away from the airport, there's 2 more major hotels, which is down this road here somewhere. You've got the Hilton. It's like right over here. It's not that far. And because they service the airport, you can still take the airport shuttles right here. Here we are. So you still got a couple of big hotels. So you've got the Marriott here. So I would call the Marriott. You've got like 3 hotels here. You've got whatever that is, and you've got whatever that is over there. So you've got 3, and then this 2 I think is like an Embassy Suites or something like that, whatever they call those. So you've got like 4 more hotels right here. So if I just zoom out where these are from where the airport is not that far. right? The hotels are here. The airport is here. So I'd start calling some of these hotels because last year a lot of people actually stayed here because the rate that we get at the Sheraton, I think is 115 a night or 120 a night. I can't remember off the top of my head, but out here the rates are like around $80 a night or something like that. So it was a lot cheaper. So a lot of people wound up staying out here just because of that. And they have shuttles that service the airport. It's literally just this one road. And boom, you're back at the airport. So you can still take the airport shuttle. So you don't have to worry about having to grab Uber and Lyft and all that stuff. You can still get the free airport shuttle. Yeah, if you're trying to call to try to get into the Sheraton, that ain't going down. But it's not like you can't still find a place to stay. So I doubt those places are fully booked too. There's a few more hotels that's a little bit closer, like the super cheap stuff, like whatever this is, which is a lot closer. The thing about Windsor Locks, besides the fact that there's just got nothing to do out here, is you can't walk anywhere. Watch this. You go to Google Earth, there are no sidewalks anywhere. So you can't really walk like you're walking in everywhere you go in this town. There are no freaking sidewalks, which is just a trip of Windsor Locks. Actually, there's a sidewalk right here. Check this out. There's a sidewalk. It starts there and it ends there. And that's literally the one sidewalk of Windsor Locks. Where did it go? I lost it. The one sidewalk in this whole town. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I thought I'd just bring that up really quickly so that you don't lose interest and you still show up, because it's definitely worth coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so so my only gripe there literally is just that. It's just this is all too clean. This is where the old terminal was. This is the parking lot from the old terminal. And that's all just empty now. You can see where that's all kind of blocked off and it's been torn down. And then let's head back over to the main terminal. Oh, no, let's continue looking at these hangars. That's right. This is where we were. So you can see here these hangars are all kind of rustic and rusty looking here. Again, this just goes to show Russ's attention to detail. These buildings are not new. They're all rusty and kind of old looking, and they show up perfectly here. This whole ramp is full of aircraft, but again, I didn't select to have the aircraft on, so my bad on that. And then there's one hangar that's open here, which I really like. And you have the lights on in here. So you have a place to park an airplane if you want to have a hangar. In fact, in my next stream I'm going to do today, I'm going to do that WAMA, that Where Is My Aircraft? I think I want to try to do that today. And this would actually be a nice place to park a bunch of airplanes, and you can call this your own like little personal hangar right here. So very nicely well done hangar there. This is the general aviation area. I'm kind of just slewing now because I didn't grab my helicopter. And then if we come around here, we'll hit the fire station. This is going to be like a 3-hour live stream, huh? Clearly, a number of you don't have all that much to do either, so I don't feel bad. Here we are. And here's the fire station. Again, you just got like this patch of snow that almost looks out of place, because it's kind of blending into brown here, like almost green. So there's our very good-looking fire trucks here, too. Again, the cabs are transparent, so you can, at some point when they work on their people flow, they can actually put people flow inside and kind of add a little bit of life to that as well. And fire department car there. Quite a few trucks out here. So really a lot of attention to detail here. And then let's go to night lighting now. Let's see, time and season. Let's see, hopefully that gives us enough night light. Yeah, what is that? Someone saying Hilton Marriott sounds expensive. No, they are cheaper than the Sheraton. So many people stayed there last year because they are actually cheaper than the flight sim con rate at the Sheraton. So it's a little bit further afield from the airport, and you don't get that beautiful view of the airfield itself. The only thing you're going to get a view of is trees, because that part in Connecticut is just trees and trees and trees and trees and trees that expand for hundreds of miles. So you'll get a beautiful view of trees, but you won't get that lovely view of the airfield that you probably would. And that's probably the other reason why the hotel booked out so well, or so fast as well, is you get that nice view of the airfield. So, okay, so now we've got the night lighting here. Again, this is going to look fantastic in prepared version 4. And this will be fully compatible with prepared version 4 as well. So that's great news. Turbulent is definitely 100% on board with that. I know that, I don't know, can I say this? No, I better not. I better not. Yeah, I better not. I'll just say that we'll be seeing a lot of interesting things coming from Turbulent in the near future, and I'll just leave it at that. It's like, oh, don't let me slip. All right, so anyway, again, you can see here the buildings are lit really nicely at night. Kind of reminds me of Elstree a little bit, just the depth in those building textures there. And here we have that main hangar there, a little bit of light spilling out on the outside. Very nice. And it'll be nice because, like, especially with that WAMA program that I'm going to show off, you can park your planes in here, but the light may not necessarily light up the airplane. So I guess in version 4 now you can actually park them in a dark hangar and have the lights actually light up instead of just seeing your planes as shadows, which is how we would see it now if we were to put an airplane in there. So to actually see lighting stuff up is going to be really, really awesome features in future developments. And then we'll head back over to the main terminal as we get ready to say goodbye and get ready to close out the stream here. So the Marriott, he says, is 103. Okay, well, again, I think I said the special Flight Sim Con rate was 120. That's the special rate, so that's not even accounting for what the actual rate is at the Sheraton. So $103 a night, you know, with taxes, that's like $250 for the weekend. You know, I'd say go for it while there's still room. So here we are, folks. This is WDS MBS. Hopefully I was thorough enough to be as thorough as possible and really show you guys why this airport is special, why I think it's special, and why it is now my top 3 airports of all time. So I generally break down my airports in terms of my favorite mega airport, my favorite regional airport. This would be my favorite regional airport, which unfortunately unseats Jarrett Marshall. I love you, buddy. You got bumped to number 2. I love you, man. Actually, no, it doesn't. Well, okay. If we're talking about U.S. regional airport, then that would bump Jarrett to number 2 because Eagle County was my favorite. So this one is my number 1 over Eagle County, but as an equally sized airport, Innsbruck still takes the cake, but for U.S. airport, yeah. So this put, and it's tough that this would put Eagle in number 2 only because Eagle, you've got that that fun approach. Oh, damn, this is tough. But still, though, this is like all the internal modeling, and Jared doesn't do that yet. So it's tough. It's hard. It's like putting a Lamborghini and a Ferrari in front and saying what's your favorite. It's like, yeah, it's kind of tough. You'd rather blow your brains out than try to say which one you like better. But yeah, but this one hits my top 3 of all time favorite sceneries. So yeah, this is just that good. And so hopefully that says a lot. There's some specular mapping there on top of the terminal building as well. So hopefully that says a lot. This will be released once again. This is coming out this weekend. What did they say? They said Thursday or Friday. Let me just get my facts straight real quick. We were just on the website too. Before I go, let me just make sure I'm getting this right. Turbulent. The 9th, so Friday. It will be released Friday on the 9th of June. You will have this masterpiece in your hands Friday, the 9th of June. This will be all of this will someday be yours. And that day will be this Friday. So there she is in all of her beauty and splendor. The wait has been worth it. There she is. Just a little bit of daylight and look at that beautiful terminal. That is just magnificent. What a beautiful work. So, Russ White, my buddy, my boy, want to say a huge congratulations to you. Your hard efforts have paid off once again. It's been a long time since we've seen a proper Russ White release. Like I said, Russ had been working on some other projects, but it's been a long time since we've just seen a proper Russ White release. So I just want to, well, my laptop is timed out, so hopefully you guys are still there. I don't know. It's saying that it can't get back into the stream, but I know I'm still streaming. So yeah, I just want to say, huge congratulations. The man has seen it through. Not only that, but this is also a huge big plus for Turbulent Designs as well, who these guys are not fooling around, man. Turbulent Designs, I mean, they've got a really solid core team, and every single thing that they have put out has just been remarkable. There is nothing at all in a Turbulent Designs release that says by any measure that it's been rushed or half-assed in any way. I mean, they really go all out with every single thing that they've put out. And not only that, but with every follow-up release that they've had, the quality of work has just gone up a notch, gone up a notch, and gone up a notch. So I'm really excited about Idaho Falls, which I think will be the next big release from Turbulent. I think it's going to be really exciting to see, how that kind of compares to MBS, because MBS is a Russ White project, and I imagine that all future Russ White projects will come under the Turbulent brand. Idaho Falls, though, is a kind of a homegrown Turbulent product as well. So, and I mean, you've got just all this talent on one team, and they are doing some really incredible stuff. So, just a huge congratulations to Turbulent and Russ and the entire team. You guys have done a fantastic job. Hopefully, those of you who have watched this stream, you've seen it. I hope you like it. I saw nothing but just accolades here in the chat this morning. And, I look forward to you. I look forward to you enjoying this incredible release and everything else that Turbulent Designs has coming up. I'm hoping to get one, at least maybe, oh no, put the light back on. That light was so pretty. Bring me back that light. I hope to have at least one more stream before Flight SimCon, and then I will be streaming throughout the event. Look for me on Friday. I will be doing a stream on Friday. I've got to start testing some of the stuff that I've got. So at some point on Friday, I will be doing a stream, as I always do. I always try to get at least one video out before the convention starts, just to kind of warm you guys up and get you all excited. So I'll probably do a quick stream live from the setup at the hotel on Friday. I'm going to be doing a lot of work on Friday, not just with the setup, but a lot of stuff with Tom Galvin and his Cessna team. Going to be interviewing his family and everything, and getting some of their setup on camera. So hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit of streaming of that on Friday as well, to kind of get us all warmed up for what is going to be a very, very, very exciting weekend. So we've got at least two great releases coming up this weekend, both Trondheim Varns from Aerosoft and MBS from Turbulent. And then we have the big Flight SimCon weekend. So great times, guys. This is the best times we've ever been in flight simulation. It's all exciting. I'm really excited. And, hey, if you're coming out to Flight SimCon, I look forward to seeing you again. Or if I haven't met you, I look forward to shaking your hand and getting to chat with you. And hip, hip, hooray for the rest of this week. As far as the rest of this day, stay tuned to airdailyx.net for when I might be going back on again. And until then, I'm going to go eat some breakfast, because it's 2:19 in the morning, and I am starving. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you on the next stream. Ciao.